So you are looking to break through Diamond, hit that Masters rank, one of the most coveted milestones in Apex Legends that, frankly, very few players are fortunate enough to hit? Well, you're in luck, as today we have 7 things that Masters or successful Diamond grinders do that lower ranked players are simply just not doing. Not only are all of these simple things, they are simple things that will make a massive difference in the performance of your games. All I ask is that if you do enjoy the video, or if you want to support the channel, hit that like button. I appreciate it, and let's get right to it. The first thing on the list is, of course, going to be awareness. Awareness can actually mean a lot of different things, but for starters, and for this, it's specifically who is around you. Masters players are constantly looking around after fights, and this increased awareness is something that you should be always doing. You need to always be on the lookout for other teams. Diamond ranked players or higher are kind of like vultures. They are looking for opportunities to hit you, and they will not hesitate to do so if something does open. Always have one player be on the lookout while your teammates are looting after a fight. This can be a massive way to just play safely and consistently. I cannot understate the importance of just constantly looking around. Even if you are mid-fight and the fight is taking a little bit longer than you expected, you should be looking around at your side angles and, of course, looking behind you for another team coming in. You should always be expecting a third party to come and try to get you, so try to stay healthy, keep your shields up, and always be looking around. Second is honestly just understanding where to rotate. This means where the rings might go. It also means the difference between playing on the edge of the ring and playing more inside in the center of the ring. Playing on the edge can actually lead to more third parties, which could mean you're getting more kills, but playing in the middle means often more safety and better positioning, because most of the time you're already in the center zone, and if you are a more experienced player, you will know where that zone is going and you can plan accordingly. Playing in the ring also usually means you're more inclined to be going for the win, while playing on the edge means you're taking slightly more risks and you could potentially get more KP. Understand what type of player you are and try to play accordingly. If it was me personally, and if you are trying to grind through the ranks, I definitely think going center ring is the way to go, as you will just be able to survive a little bit longer and you will get higher placement. That being said, if you are hard stuck on the bottom of Diamond or really on the bottom of any rank, I do absolutely suggest you land more edge ring and try to play around that way to get kills and gain experience until you eventually can get out of the hard stuck Diamond 4. At the end of all of it though, the big thing with awareness is to constantly be looking around. The major big thing between getting through Diamond and just staying hard stuck Diamond 4 or being in Platinum is constantly be looking around your surroundings and understanding who might be trying to come and get you. Second up is going to be not dying. Nah, I'm just messing with you. Second is actually staying healthy. It seems obvious, and it's not quite as linear as it sounds, though. Do not give enemies the opportunity to make a push. Getting cracked is a huge factor in ranked. Getting cracked often leads to forcing enemies to advance on you, even if you think their play is dumb. A smart player would be aware of third parties and what might happen if they do ape you, but not all Diamond players are playing with this in mind, or even really care to consider the outcomes. They are just kind of aping you to more or less just try to get kills, and they'll just figure out what happens after that. The big thing you should be doing to prevent this is to always try to keep your health as high as possible. Often, if I'm anything less than like half my shields are hit, I will try to take a shield cell or two, so I am keeping myself pretty healthy. This kind of goes back with the previous tip of awareness, but healing post-fight is absolutely paramount. Even if you do think you're alone, you should be absolutely armor swapping every single time and then healing up your health, and then you can pick up your old armor back up to heal that armor up. Just pop heals, don't loot a thing until you are healthy and you are ready for a third party. You should always be expecting this. And the reason for all of this and staying healthy, honestly, is just because Diamond players, for the most part, have much better aim, which leads you to just getting tapped more at range, and you're just more likely to get hit, and you are more likely to take bigger damage. If you do take big damage, though, don't fret. It's gonna happen. There's nothing you can do about it. Just be ready for a close range fight. Don't get caught off guard, but do your part to heal as frequently as you can to prevent this. Remember, everything with battle royales is really about consistency. It's not really a sprint, it's more about a marathon, and you want to play as consistently as much as you can. Third up is something that we all do from time to time, myself included, and this is overextending. The first thing though with overextending is getting knocked even though you know your team is more or less guaranteed to win that fight. Play it safe, heal up, let your squad mates finish the fight. Getting knocked at the end of a fight is a major factor in leading you to get third partied. Good players will they'll watch the kill feed, and if they see multiple knocks on each team, this means they know that they have an even better chance at third-partying you. Staying alive means you are better prepared to prevent someone from thirding you. It does seem like a pretty small deal, but taking the 5 to 7 seconds to revive your squad mates and then heal up even more is a major factor in preventing yourself from losing a third party. In addition to this though, overextending also just means pushing into a fight slightly too far from cover and just understanding power positions that enemies could peek from. Flanking in a BR is a great thing to do from time to time, but in ranked, it's a little bit harder to do because you are leaving yourself out there. Flanking means you are leaving your teammates to try and get an angle, and if good players realize that you are leaving your squad mates, they will either ape you in a 1-on-3 or they could ape your squad mates in a 3-on-2, and either way, this could be a pretty big detriment to your success in a ranked game. You should only be flanking enemies if you know you can get that angle and if you know you can still be in support range of your squad mates. Otherwise, I think it's absolutely paramount to stay closer to the squad so you can better support and team shot with each other. It is of course not all as linear as this, but the big thing is really just not overextend and get too far away from your squad, and don't get knocked at the end of the fight when you know you more or less are guaranteed to win it. No joke, if you can master these first 3 tips of not overextending, staying healthy, and just being aware of enemies' locations and understanding how the game is going to play, you are way better off than the majority of Apex Legends players, and as long as you have the gun skill to back it up, you are going to hit masters. But we are not done yet, and we are actually going to move on to something that could be semi-controversial, and this is actually that movement is not really that important. A lot of the time, movement will come into play from time to time in your games, but for the general part of it, you really don't need god-tier movement to climb the ranks in Apex Legends. There's plenty of pros out there that show this, as well as a lot of those players are not really doing a lot of flashy moves. They just have really good gun skill, good awareness, good positioning, and they do know when to take advantage of the play. Unlike pubs, most of the time in ranked, you really aren't pushing and running players down like you might in a pub game, unless you are a psychopath. But you can play ranked in a much more reserved way, where if you are truly trying to grind RP, it's really not the focus to be a movement god. Focus more on game knowledge like rotations and survivability. This is something that I think you should be spending a lot more time trying to improve, not really just movement, say, in the firing range. For me, it's always been gun skill, then game sense, and then movement. Movement is an integral part of Apex Legends, but do not over prioritize it. If you have the basics down, and if you are pretty mobile and you understand the basics of the movement, I would definitely prioritize gun skill and then game sense. Next up is going to be the team composition, or in general, just the meta of the game. The higher you are in ranked, the more and more you need to squeeze every ounce of energy and every ounce of advantage out of that game that you can. And your team composition for starters is going to start to matter. Non-meta legends such as Mirage, Watson, and Rampart, to name a few, can be useful and can be fun, but a lot of the time, they are not going to give you the best advantage for both yourself and your entire squad. There's a reason why a few legends nearly make up half of the pick rate for Masters and Pred ranked, and it's not just because those legends are nostalgic or fun, it's because those legends are very good at what they do, and it's being the best legends in the game. Wraith, Gibraltar, Bloodhound, and Valkyrie are a few of the legends I can recommend right now that you should consider for those sweaty ranked games. And on top of this, the same does go for the meta weaponry. While certain weapons like the Sentinel Sniper Rifle, maybe even the Charge Rifle, can be good in ranked scenarios, something more like the R301, the Flatline, maybe even like the Car SMG or the R989 are going to benefit you a little bit more, because honestly, it's the close range fights that matter, not quite as much those long range warriors. Right after this, we're going to have having a consistent team. This is something that is not necessarily so easy for some players, but if you can have a consistent 3-stack that you are joining in ranked with, this is going to be a massive advantage to you getting higher ranked. Playing with the same players over and over means you understand their play styles, you understand their strengths, their weaknesses, and you can plan a little bit more accordingly. If you are playing with randoms, have no fear though, but do your part to give every bit of energy that you can into winning your games. Mic up, ping, be a team player, don't hoard all the loot, the ammo, especially when it comes to healing items, and just overall be a very supportive squad mate. And absolutely, you gotta stay positive. Not everything's gonna go your way, and this is especially the case if you are playing with randoms. But if you can, try to get a consistent team. I would definitely join our Discord, where we do have players you can find to party with, and it's a great way to find players that you can play with consistently, so you are not just flip-flopping from team to team and kind of figuring out every game, as every game is going to be a little bit different. Next, we are going to have indecisive decisiveness, and just decision making. If you are not sure what to do and your squad mates are not sure what to do, the best thing you can do is just to take the leadership role and take charge. No decision is almost always going to be worse than making some sort of decision. Being paralyzed in fear does not lead to any sort of success or improvement, and you are more or less just kind of floating in the wind, hoping that luck pays out and you get a little bit higher placement. You will never get better if you are not making some decisions in your games and just taking charge. If you do make a decision and it does not pan out, the biggest thing you can do is honestly just talk it over afterwards to understand what you could have done better so you can better prepare for it next time. Something I feel like players do not do enough is that they do not understand why they lost and they're just re-queuing for another match. Absolutely need to think it over, at least in your mind, and then better yet, talk it over with your squad. I do believe in your ability to hit Diamond, to hit Masters, or whatever your rank goal might be. If you want to see one of the best games we had this season, we absolutely slayed out this Diamond rank game, almost like it was pubs. It is on screen for you, and it is on the second channel. Be sure to sub to the channel for more content that is always on the way. Until next time, happy gaming, legends.